Basketball is back here in the historic Tysinker Gymnasium here in Central South Carolina as the conference crossover continues. It's day 2 now as the Conference Carolinas puts on a showcase against the South Atlantic Conference. Today, Mars Hill taking on the Southern Wesleyan University Warriors, who play host. Both teams coming off losses yesterday. Mars Hill lost to the favorite so far of the tournament, Belmont Abbey, who left 2-0 in their season opening weekend. And then SWU lost to Emory and Henry last night by a total of 20 points. The final score 82-62. Both these teams came in towards the bottom of their preseason polls in both the Conference Carolinas and the South Atlantic Conference. Raines drives the alley, gets her own rebound, and she's blocked up front by a host of Lions. Deep shot by Lookie. She was one of the high-volume shooters from just last night, and here she'll steal this one away. Already multiple possessions from the Warriors, and Reigns finally cashes in from deep. A nice three-ball play from Michaela Reigns, the junior guard, transfer out of Cairn University. While she was there, averaging 20.3 points per game at Cairn. Last night, it was, well, the Michaela Reigns show. 12 points off 6 for 13 from the field. And that was the very first three she cashed in so far this season. SWU, the travel. They're on Deanna Hayes, the local out of Piedmont, South Carolina, who started 9 games as a freshman. Look for her to be a big impact player, down low especially. This Mars Hill University team, though they finished above 500 last season with a 17-12 record, they were polled to be last in the South Atlantic Conference. Here's a quick shot up by Stella McIntyre, the North Greenville University transfer. In her first year with the Lions, the Stockholm, Sweden native, looking to make a big impact from out wide, but hey, there's an impact from another transfer we have to talk about, Felicia Ondongo, who came way of Carolina University, but that's not the only stop she's been at. Her freshman year at Augusta, her sophomore year, West Virginia State University, her junior year, Carolina, and last but not least, she's here at Mars Hill. 4 different schools, 4 different years. Deanna Hayes. They'll call the charging foul on her, negate any point she was given. It's still 3-3. Najarius Green in his first year at the helm of the Lions squad out of Mars Hill, North Carolina. Coming away of Columbia College, where he brought multiple of his former players as well. 3 from Columbia College as Lookie drives towards the baseline. She's clobbered and finds her way towards the padding. Mars Hill leads by 2 after coming off quite the loss yesterday. They play, of course, the tournament favorite, Belmont Abbey. Final score yesterday, 72-60. Just a 12-point loss, but it was really fueled by that second quarter. That second quarter was not fun for the Lions. Shooting 0% from three-point range there in the second quarter and only 22% from the field. Overall, they shot under 40% from every aspect you can shooting-wise, including the free throw line, 36.4% from the charity stripe. Up and into the crutch, good rebound. Their line number 2, Michaela Street, a Columbia College transfer. That J.J. Green brought in. Adriana Gillette, the grad student from Montreat College. The 5'6" grad student who averaged around 10 points per game over the course of her career at Montreat. Princess McCauley, the California native, checking in for the Warriors. Gillette heaves one up, and that's where it started last night for Mars Hill. It all started with misses from the free throw line. Diminishes momentum, but hey, 1 for 2 is a good start. They have the 1-point lead now. SWU with Lookie on the fatal turnover, intending that one for Princess McCauley here on the near side. McCauley, the transfer from Mount San Jacinto College out in San Jacinto, California. where she was a first-team all-conference guard, averaged 17 points per game, along with 5 rebounds to go along. And we see Felicia Ondongo again from range. 6 points on the day for her. The senior out of Pickerton, Ohio. Up, and that'll rim out. Ondongo on the fast break. Finds Gillette, who heaves it up. Ondongo cleans up the mess. 5 points over the last 2 possessions, 8 points in total. SWU loses it in transition deep in their own territory. Mars Hill to recover. Jediah Peoples, the junior out of Lexington, North Carolina. She was the South Atlantic Conference player to watch here in the preseason. An offense that averaged 71 points per game last season. Shot 41% from the field, just 26% from outside the arc, and just under 70% from the charity stripe. Lots to be improved upon from last year, but under a new head coach, that could be just it. As we see Felicia Ondongo catch fire. The offense carried on her back. She had just 10 points. Coming into today's matchup, she sits just below it at 8. 2 for 2 from deep and 1 from mid-range. It's 14-5. SWU takes a quick timeout to recollect themselves. We'll see you on the other side.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
We bring you back here to Central South Carolina, home of the Southern Wesleyan University Warriors. They're down by 9 against Mars Hill. Last night it was a struggle. They were out-rebounded by 14 against the Wasp of Emory and Henry. Brianna Yarber, who was a dominant force, had double-digit rebounds, a big reason why the Warriors couldn't hold their own down low. Just 37 rebounds to Emory and Henry's 51. Ondongo now with the ball. She's got 8 points so far on the evening. The dribble drive, good. Adriana Gillette, the Winston-Salem, North Carolina native. We mentioned her being one of those pivotal transfers that has made such a difference over just the past 2 matches. SWU having a tough time just getting across half court. This full court pressure from the Pride of Lions. Phenomenal so far. 16-5. Looking on the run, far side of the court. Off to a fast break, trying to pass between a host of Mars Hill Lions. Here comes McIntyre looking to drain it from the doorstep. Just like that. Ondongo already tying up with her season high of 10 points. Hands it over to McIntyre. The quick dish down towards Michaela Street, the senior, out of Baltimore, Maryland. A nice finishing touch. Just like that, it's 20-5. Looky. Double team, now triple team, able to break through. The quick pass down towards Nicholson, step back three. She was a bright spot last night. And her first shot will rim off. Savannah Nicholson went 4 for 8 from three-point land, around 50% for her there. 14 total points, second on the squad of blue and black. Goulet finished up 11 points just yesterday in their matchup against Belmont Abbey. One of the 4 Lions to finish up with the double-digit points tally as we see this one fly up and out of play. SWU to take over. Looky checks out. In comes Emily Gammon, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Gammon, who averaged around 6 points a game with Abraham Baldwin Agriculture. Look for her to be a nice spark off the bench. Lexi Ransom, the Casper, Wyoming native. Inbounds this one to Gammon. Season Alley won't take it, working off the screen. Back up top, slung over towards Nicholson, working off the screen. Gets a survey of the land, passes it off. Danielle Early heaving that one to Hayes, but those two can't connect. The passing has got to be better. 22 turnovers is not how you win games. Both SWU and Mars Hill know that best. Both of them right at 20 or above in turnovers just yesterday in the season debuts. Hayes to inbound, finds Gammon. Gammon right back to her. Full court pressure, eventually found by Nicholson, intercepted by the Lions. Nicholson, the putback, no good. Hayes flings it up, draws the foul, and she'll take a trip to the line for the first time tonight. What a sequence. Nicholson saw the open early, down low, tried to dot that ball to her. It was quickly intercepted by Jadine Haynes out of Charleston, South Carolina. Another Koala who transferred over with head coach Green. Hayes can't knock down the charity stripe opportunity. Remains 20-5. SWU has been scoreless now for 4 minutes straight. Less than 4 here in our first quarter of play. Here comes Peoples. Round the way, the dish out, and it's good for a Cheyenne McCummings 2-pointer. McCummings, her very first point as a Mars Hill Lion, the freshman out of Fort Polk, Louisiana. Brings it.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders.
Welcome back here at Central South Carolina, the final matchup of the conference crossovers. Conference Carolina with SWU representing them in this matchup, and the South Atlantic Conference with Mars Hill representing the SAC. Gammon under heavy pressure, a football-like pass towards Ransom. Ransom looking from deep, can't nail it in. Nicholson tries to get the rebound quickly. Swallowed up by the freshman guard out of Fort Polk, then the nice put-up lay. An extra 2 points never hurt. 26-6. Ransom receives the inbound. Here comes Early. The dribble drive down court. Nicholson has a wide open shot from deep off the crutch. Up and in. SWU finally finds a bit of a rhythm here thanks to Tiana Hayes. Gillette dishes. McCummings finds a side iron. No more. Gammon. Fast break. Multiple lines to pass. She dishes it off to Early. Early trips over her own feet. The quick throw down. And the quick put up. Cecilia Silver, the Gardner-Webb transfer. Silver, her first points in the yellow, blue, and white. Close to eclipsing 30 points are the Lions. Here's Early now. Cecilia Silver, the defender of Early. Hayes brings down the inbound. Pass off towards Nicholson, and right off her knees it goes. It'll be a Lions ball. And I tell you what, they've just been dominating so far today. A 26-5 run over the past 7 minutes for Mars Hill. They're 4 of 5 in their last 5 attempts. We'll see if they can extend that. Gillette. The pass off towards Cameron Sainville. Call this one on the ground. A little more than 2 minutes remaining here in the first period of action. Gammon. SWU under heavy pressure. Looky back in the game. That'll be off the knees of Sainville, the freshman out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, product of Spartan High. Gammon finds McCauley, now towards the interior. Price, the price is right there. And it's a 28-10 game. Slimming down the deficit to just 18 now is SWU, but here come the Lions, roaring for some more points. The charge is called. Looky takes one for the team. Sainville lowered the shoulder, barreled her way in, and it ended up paying as we see Princess McCauley to inbound for the Warriors. Raines, quick feet from coast to coast, the and one. You betcha. Michaela Raines out of Jonesboro, Georgia, trying to make it a 3-point play. And that she ties. Raines just last night, 12 points. Currently sits at 3 in total. That was one of the first makes of the night for her. And just like that, we'll be back here for a short timeout. It's 28-13.
Life, things aren't scripted. If you're
South Carolina, what happened? What happened? So bad. We're back here for some more basketball action. NCAA Division II women's basketball here in the upstate of South Carolina. Just 15 minutes outside of Clemson is Central South Carolina, and it's a beautiful fall day here. Speaking of falling, see Staliana Mantzoris, the junior guard out of Albany, New York. One of the two Hudson Valley Community College transfers that made their way into Mars Hill, North Carolina. She was 1 for 2 yesterday against Belmont Abbey from the charity stripe. Let's see if she can better out that percentage. Makes her first. Got another attempt here to make it a 30-13 game. SWU, a lot of catch up to do here. 2 for 2. Nice start there for the junior. So now 3 points on the season for her, all courtesy of the free throw line. Quickly intercepted Gillette. The pass off. Haynes on the way. Sainville up and in. The and one is good. Tough bucket. The freshman. I tell you what, they raise them differently in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Little more than a minute to go here in the first period of play. Sainville, just her first appearance this season. This being her collegiate debut, and what a start it is. Raines. The fadeaway three is good. Nice little step back three. Makes it a 33-16 game. Sainville, hop, skip, and a jump, tosses it out wide. Up and in. That's good. A nice glass polisher there from Mantzoris. Raines, wide open alley. Tell you what, Sainville all over the court, drawing the off-ball foul off the illegal screen from SWU. With less than 30 seconds remaining, it's close to being a 20-point game here in Central. Mantzoris, guarded by Gammon. Gammon, good hands. Mantzoris working off the screen. Back in her hands, and at the buzzer won't go. That, ladies and gentlemen, will be your first half or your first quarter.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Set us. Second quarter of play is underway here in Central South Carolina. The final matchup of the conference crossover challenge. McCauley spinning, loses it off the dribble. Up in the foul called, Michaela Street, who out with the Koalas of Columbia College, averaged right above 11 points per game. She was shooting 48% from the field, but just 59% from the free throw line. We'll see if that percentage will improve as the season goes along in this new environment. Looks like it won't, ladies and gentlemen. For now, at least, she has plenty of time to smooth the edges. Was 1 for 2 yesterday against Belmont Abbey as well, and makes it 1 for 2 against SWU. 36-16, 20-point lead here for the Lions. Quick toss up towards Nicholson as she'll tiptoe out of bounds. Mars Hill will take over on the turnover. Just small mistakes in the passing game have really been the crutch for this SWU team. Turnovers have been heavy. Street finished up with 9 points just yesterday. Out wide for McIntyre. Odongo spinning, fadeaway 2 is good. The deep 2. And a phenomenal follow through. And SWU off to the races, searching for a Reigns 2-pointer, but she won't find it. Bobbles out of her hands. Peoples launches it over, finding Street. It'll topple out of her hands. SWU to inbound. Reigns, heavy pressure. From coast to coast, they hand it off to Nicholson, who tries to drain the 3, can't. 1 for 6 is SWU over the past 7 attempts. Looky, scanning. McCauley, her only option. Toss out of play. And SWU struggling here in the first half. %35% from the field, 28% from range. McIntyre brings this one in. Flings it over to Peoples, who drives baseline. McIntyre receives the pass. Bob it away, out of her reach. Dawson looking for deep 3. Won't find it. Into the hands of Gammon. Gammon, fast break, right down the alley. Kicks it out. Nicholson. Trace, not there. Up and in. There's Kendon Dawson, the Columbia College transfer, who averaged around 5 points per game, as Reigns responds. Phenomenal 3 from out wide. A little bit of momentum back on the side of SWU. Odongo drives deep, can't finish at the rim. Less than 7.5 minutes to go. The toss over towards McCauley here on the near side. Looky drives baseline. They'll call her out of bounds. Teeter-tottering near the edge is what we've seen so often on these turnovers. Just bad passes and then bad foot placement. It'll be Mars Hill in possession. Lexi Ransom check back in for the Warriors. They need that gritty toughness there on the outside from the Wyoming native. Played in 23 games last season, averaged close to 7 points a game. Gillette was looking for the step back mid-range jumper, but here's McIntyre, floats it up, Pop back into the hands of SWU on the fast break. Wide open was the lane with the likes of Esther Cole, the junior guard transfer out of Penn State Abington, where she averaged 15.7 points per game. Stealing and now in transition, here comes Gammon for SWU. She'll take the shot from distance, no good. No travel called. On the way, Mars Hill pawing and scratching for another three-point attempt. McIntyre will try again. Stopped short just by the rim. The put-up is good from Street. Michaela Street, the cleanup machine. Up and in for Ransom. Her first points of the afternoon. Step back two. It's a 19-point game. Some fresh legs brought in for the Lions of Mars Hill, including Mansourus, the junior out of Albany, New York, who we saw in that first quarter of action have some impressive few minutes. Raines catches the inbound. She's quick to the seed. Working off the screen from Early. The handoff to Nicholson. She juggles it just a bit. Gillette, her defender, heaved in for Early, trying to finish up top. She does, kissing the glass as she goes. Danielle Early, the freshman out of Greenville, South Carolina. Deep three, no good. Ransom looking to dish deep down court. Raines finds the pass in her hands now outside the arc. Ransom, the hesitation, the block. Early to take a trip to the free throw line after catching the block shot, and we'll see how she does here at the charity stripe. Early, who redshirted last season, will be brought to the line after this timeout here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
We welcome you back here to Central South Carolina, home of the Southern Wesleyan University Warriors, as they're down 42-25 here in the second period of play. Halfway through it, we've got 5 minutes left before the halftime break here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. And of course, the Conference Carolinas Digital Network powered by Huddle, the official digital network of the Conference Carolinas. Early graduate of Blue Ridge High School. Talked about her taking the redshirt year last year to just develop her game. She'll sink that one as well. Good start here for the redshirt freshman. Some ring around the rosy now from Mars Hill. Working from left to right, stolen away by Ransom. Early the pickup. She'll get it back to her floor general. Popped over to Raines. The high volume shooter can't finish. And the back iron has been a menace today for SWU. Ransom just had the hands up. No whistle blown. Reigns the fast break, keeping up a nice quick pace of play. Less than 4.5 minutes to go. The drive and kick out eventually finds its way into the hands of Haynes. An offensive foul called early to inbound. Slips out of the hands of Ransom. A little more than 4 minutes to go. Time not on the side of SWU. (42-26). Here comes Adriana Gillette. Ransom, her defender. Lockdown defense. Turnovers forced. Well played by the Warriors. Esther Cole with the quick hands, popping it loose. Ransom crosses half court at the doorstep, heaves one up and finds nothing but the netting. Not the netting that you want. Of course, that was almost an exact showcase of how Lexi Ransom's day went yesterday as well. Was 0 for 6 from the field. The only time she found points was from the charity stripe, where she went 100%, 2 for 2. From deep, that'll flush out. The putback won't go either. SWU the rebound. Princess McCauley drags it down, and she'll find the flooring. Within 16 points are the Warriors of Southern Wesleyan. Looky, cross-court pass. Ransom, nice move, dishes it down to McCauley. She's under some heavy pressure, heaves it up. Second chance opportunity, draws the foul. She'll step up to the line. McCauley, who helped lead MSJC to a conference title last season. You can obviously tell that she's an athletic scorer, a nice downhill burst, and great rebounding ability. And that's what really brought about this sequence here. Unfortunate, now she couldn't finish it off at the charity stripe, but she's got one more attempt. She was 0 for 2 yesterday from the free throw line. She'll be 1 for 2 today. Peoples flings it out to Street. Street with the right hand, nice finish at the rim. McCauley to get things started. Hands it right over. Haynes looking for an outlet. Gillette over to McIntyre. Flushes it in. And that'll be good for a 47th Mars Hill point. Ransom launches it down court. Another turnover. There for the sophomore guard out of Natrona County High School. And she was the go-to last season. Shooting 35% from the field, around 30% from three-point range, but the turnovers have cost her so far today. A nice 1-2 punch. The Haynes to Street connection. A good one. It's a 20-point ball game with Street to step up to the line. Street, of course, who had a career-high 26 points against Montreat while she was with Columbia College. She sits at 7, will remain at 7. Perfect from the field. Can't say that about the charity stripe. We talked about the lower percentage that she came into the season having, 59%. But she's contributing in other areas. Rains. The quick flick as we see McIntyre down for the count, holding the high ankle. No whistle blown yet. Looky. 3-ball blown dead. And we see the North Greenville transfer down for the count. We'll take a quick break here on the Conference Carolinas Network, and we'll be right back.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
So thankfully, McIntyre able to hobble off the court. Unfortunately, not on her own power. The Stockholm, Sweden native, a great asset brought in from North Greenville. Funny enough, you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. But in this case, McIntyre had a nice outing against Mars Hill last season. It was actually her career high 6 points that she scored against the Lions, and then decides, well, why not join them? And she will be a tremendous piece of the puzzle as we see Mars Hill get right back to the action. Here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network, we'll see the extra step taken there by Jediah Peoples out of Lexington, North Carolina. Looky to inbound. Finds Rains. Rains able to beat most opponents with just her legs. A lot of speed on her shorter frame. Here's Looky, kicks it out to Nicholson. Nicholson, nylon. 17-point game. Call it a comeback. Deep ball, no good. There from Undongo, who had one heck of a first quarter of play. Rains, the deep 2, won't go. A good rebound opportunity on the defensive side for Mars Hill. The drive, down court by Street, working through the trees. And no good. Can't bring the finishing touch to be. Rains from distance. That one rims off. Rebounded by Gillette. Less than a minute to go here in the second quarter. And the nice sidestep shot off the left foot from Peoples will drain. Turnover, turnover, turnover. That's a lot of what we've seen from SWU today. Gillette. Odongo. A nice step back three. The follow through wasn't there. So it was an off-ball foul. And looking to step up and shoot two from the free throw line. She's already 100% today from the cherry stripe. 3 points in total from that distance. Now, 3 for 4. Her lone 3 points of the afternoon. Definitely a different outcome this first half was for her compared to the last. That's good. The 2 from distance will fall for Gillette, as it's an 18-point game here at the half. We'll see you on the other side. It's 49-31 here in Central.
You played before that. Should I have the film or something? And his West Shield FC, where by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. West FC, where by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. West Shield FC, where by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Where by far the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Our virtues set us apart. We daily work to build champions in body, mind, and soul. It's who we are. This is Conference Carolina.
campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Our virtues set us apart. We daily work to build champions in body, mind, and soul. It's who we are. This is Conference Carolina.
You played before that.
Trying to have the thrill or something.
And it's West Shore FC, we're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. West Shore FC, we're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen.
We welcome you back here to the conference crossover in Central South Carolina. Mars Hill representing the South Atlantic Conference, and Southern Wesleyan, the host, who also represent the Conference Carolinas. It's right now a 20-point game, 51-31. You can see the stats there on your screen. What an impressive matchup. We've seen some bright spots from SWU, but we've seen elite gameplay from Mars Hill, especially from the field, shooting 51%. Where they could easily clean up at is, well, from three, along with their free throw percentage. Shooting at 28% from three, 55% from the free throw line. 10 total steals to 10 turnovers for the Lions in their first year under head coach J.J. Green. He's assisted by Haley Moore, Bob Wood, and then the team manager being Stacy Bugnott. Mars Hill to start things off in our final two quarters of action. Here in Central South Carolina, the sun has begun to set. And Mars Hill with streets, straight to the basket she goes. 7 points already on her early evening. And we'll call a foul there as Odongo, who leads the floor, 15 points to her name. She went off in that first few minutes of the first quarter. Was a little quiet there in the second, but made up for it with a few points nearing the end as Street takes a hard fall. The Columbia College transfer, who sits right now, like I said, 7 points. She's 1 for 4 from the free throw line, so this has not been her day, per se, from the charity stripe. Can't knock it down there. Eventually makes the second. So now she's 2 for 6. Not the greatest of percentages, but looking, trying to up that 3-ball percentage, and she does there. First possession for SWU's a great one. And looky here, playing both ways, from offense to defense. Looky, who played 27 minutes of good ball last night, finished up 17 points. She only sits at 3 right now as Mars Hill works her way down court, deep into SWU territory. The toss out for Odongo as she launches one from 3. Blocked away by Gammon. Peoples, the quick turnaround 2 is good. Here comes Reigns, who leads the Warriors in points so far. Gammon up and in, kisses the glass as she goes. McIntyre back in the game after a scary fall. The Stockholm, Sweden native found herself on the ground early in that second quarter of play. Tossed in and tossed away. Odongo finds Street. Street drives the lane, tosses it in. Calls him too little. No one can handle the senior out of Baltimore, Maryland. Here comes Reigns. 12 points to her name. Nicholson lights it up from distance. Not too bad of a run so far. From out wide, Odongo. Quick exchange is good, and a timeout is called. We'll be back here after these short messages. We welcome you back here to Southern Wesleyan University as it's a 20-point game with the Mars Hill Lions leading the way. They were polled to be last in the South Atlantic Conference, even after a stellar finish to the season, 17-12 overall. But again, with a new head coach and basically an entire reset of the last season. That coach's poll in the preseason poll was having their doubts about the Lions out of North Carolina, but they're looking to prove the haters wrong, and a win here could be the chance to start that run. Here comes Reigns, on to Lookie, who had an earlier three, sends it on towards Gammon, and Lookie just exchanging a few remarks with the Zebra Stripes, trying to figure out the confusion. This will be Mars Hill ball. Odongo, the senior two-way player out of Pickerington, Ohio. Talks about her being a traveling lady. And she has been to 4 universities over the past 4 years. Heaving this one up. On the way is Dawson. It was good penetration, but just couldn't finish. Less than 7.5 minutes remain here. The football cross-court pass up for Reigns, trying to use the backboard for assistance. Gets her own rebound, heaves it up, but she's blocked by Street. Nothing going there. Nothing going except for an opportunity to get something out of nothing. A nice gritty effort from the junior out of Jonesboro, Georgia. She'll have a chance for 2 here. Knocks down the first. Easy as pie. Down by 19 are the Warriors. Reigns was busy tying her shoes. Ball rolled past her, and we're back to the action. Reigns now looking for her 14th point. Remains 100%. from the charity stripe. Down by 18. Largest lead today was 24 points for Mars Hill, and it was 40-16 there in the second quarter. Odongo, the slingshot won't find its mark. Street reloads, puts it up with the right hand. The and one is in. What a showcase from the transfer out of Columbia College in her final year of eligibility. She's putting on a show here for the Lions. Makes it a three-point play. Does her team justice. They're up by 21. Gammon to Ransom. Cross-court pass, Nicholson. Gammon under fire, and she heaves this one off the shins of Street. It'll remain a SWU Warrior ball. (62-41). Just under 40% is SWU shooting from the field. We'll see if that can improve here. Kyra Price, a nice right-handed floater. (14 for 34 from all over the court. Gillette moving and grooving. Her and Reigns in a tug of war for the ball. Looks like it will be a Warriors ball deep in their own territory. Ransom to Price. Quick down court they are. Reigns, the finishing touch on a beautiful sequence from SWU. They've needed that to start momentum. Step back, long two, rebounded by Nicholson. She's been all over the court today. Here's Reigns. Second on the flooring in scoring. The hop, skip, and a jump finish from Price. Gillette. Odongo surveys. Looks out wide for Dawson. Dawson makes them pay for leaving her wide open. A little more than 5 minutes remain in this third quarter. Reigns dribbling through multiple defenders. The kick out wide. No good. Lexi Ransom has just been cold so far today. 1 for 6 now from the field. 0 for 2 from distance. 20-point game, it remains. Here comes Nicholson. Drives, dishes, nice. Using the backboard as she goes. That time it was Esther Cole, a Brooklyn, New York native. Step back two. Eventually wobbles its way in for Gillette. Price eventually finds her way across half court. Here comes Ransom. Foul on Street for the push. Will bring us to a timeout here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. We'll be back after these short messages. It's 69-49.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, Our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
It's time for some more basketball here in Central South Carolina. But time is not in favor of the natives of Central South Carolina, that being the Warriors of Southern Wesleyan. As they play host, they're down by 20. A potential 0-2 record to start the season, all at home as well. Lost by 20 to Emory and Henry. And at the current moment, losing by 20 to this Mars Hill team. The South Atlantic Conference really stepping it up against their cross-conference rivals. Price able to pop it to herself. Here comes McCauley. Weaves through the trees. Nicholson drives through the center of the court. Keeps it in play for Lookie. Lookie at the buzzer of the shot clock. It'll expire and give the Mars Hill Lions a chance to respond and take an even better lead than they've already got. Peoples, the quick turnaround. Ball eventually finds its way to Gillette. Kicks it out, Peoples again. Gillette, step back three is good. Talk about some good shooting from distance. Now sitting around 37% from three-point land. They're 7 for 18. Smacked out of play by Street. 72-48. Lookie finds Nicholson. Price, the dribble drive, looking to kick out, trying to find Esther Cole on the move. McCauley, Nicholson, sidestep three, dishes it right in. Nothing but net. Less than 3 minutes. You're in this third quarter. Final 10 minutes of action coming your way here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Peoples, the ball escapes her grasp. Esther Cole working down the lane from coast to coast she goes. Ball overthrown by Gillette. Nicholson tripped up. It'll remain in the hands of the Warriors. Foul there on Cheyenne McCummings. A little more than 2 minutes here in the third period of play. Deanna Hayes able to grab the foul. We'll take a few shots here at the line. Less than 2 minutes. Hayes was 1 for 2 yesterday from the charity stripe. Can't convert on her first shot. We'll see her try from the second. Can't there as well. So Haynes 0 for 2 on the day. 7 for 13 is SWU. Gillette weaving, dodging, and eventually pummeled to the ground. Gillette, who, as I mentioned, over the course of her career, averaged close to 10 points a game with Monterey College. Was around 9.3 on average per season. Her sophomore year, one of her best seasons, was averaging close to 12 points a game. Lookie and Gillette tangled up. The sophomore out of Weston, Florida. They'll call the jump ball and give it over to the Lions of Mars Hill. Gillette, Lookie, her defender. 3 ball from deep. No go. Peyton Caldwell, the newcomer out of Morganton, North Carolina, with her first shot and first appearance of the game out of Freedom High School. Madison Mickens forces the issue. Little more than a minute to go here in the third chunk of action. Mickens on to McCummings. Back up top for Caldwell. The floater shot won't fall. It'll quickly rim out. Gillette. The chance for McCummings. And that'll be a Mars Hill ball. Deep in SWU territory. Trying to respond to some adversity. As we see Lexi Ransom check back in. Ransom. Shoved to the ground with a little more than 30 seconds remaining. It'll remain SWU ball. And Ransom will take herself a free flight to the free throw line. Ransom notches one there. Third point of the night for the sophomore. Make it the fourth. Easy does it. Perfect. From the charity stripe. 0 for 2 from distance and 1 for 6 from the field. Gillette. Chewing down the clock. 6-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Five seconds to shoot here. Off-ball foul on Nicholson. McCummings notches a point. Third of the early afternoon. Looking for another one. She finds it. 10 seconds remain. It'll be a quick pacing set here by SWU. Less than 5. We'll see the blocking foul. Is that one for Lookie would have sank straight in. But instead, she'll take a few steps over to the free throw line for a chance at 2. .3 seconds remain. Up and in. That's good. So 2 points there for Lookie. 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Got to capitalize on those free chances. 16-point deficit. Faith Yelton hauls it in. We'll call the double dribble. Mickens onwards to McIntyre. She can't find it at the buzzer, but we find ourselves with a 74-58 score with Mars Hill in the lead in this crossover challenge. The final bit of action coming your way here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. We'll be back.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
The fourth and final bit of action here at Southern Wesleyan University for the Crossover Challenge. The Crossover Conference Challenge brought to you here by Huddle today. And SWU looks to go on a nice long road trip. Taking on Georgia College next. Looky there, the Price herself. A nice little right-handed finger roll. Gillette drives in, dishes over to McCummings. Gillette back with it now. 3 from Caldwell. Meets nothing but iron. Gammon, ball swatted away. Adriana Gillette is everywhere. Adongo re-entered the game. Down by 14 is SWU. Mars Hill looking to add a bit of extra padding to the already lengthy lead they've got. They got to work all the way down court. Past a pretty tough SWU defensive presence down court. Up and over the rim. Raines. 16 points on her night so far. Dishes it off to Price. Price not afraid to shoot from distance. Lookie drives, forces the issue out wide. Gammon, sidestep 2, that'll rim in. 12-point game. The charge is called. Nicholson putting her body on the line. Jediah Peoples checks in to give the Lions a bit more of a scoring option. Lookie surveys, finds Nicholson. And we see Lookie toss to the flooring. Slapping the floor in frustration. Hopefully all is well with her. Holding her hips. Looks like they'll check her out. Sub in Esther Cole. She's been a really bright spot to the front court of SWU so far today, especially. Works off the screen from Price's Reigns. Reigns pops it to Cole. Cole the extra step up and draws the foul. That's good for the junior out of Brooklyn, New York. The PSUAC second team all-conference selection. Well, she was at Penn State Abington. She was also at Penn State New Kensington as well, where she averaged 10 points a game. Knocks that one down to make it just an 11-point game. Make it a 10-point game, ladies and gentlemen. Things are closing in. The deficit gets smaller and smaller. Gillette gets a feel for the flooring. Dawson, nothing going. Pass flies out of play. Wide open, Esther Cole, the put in and the put down. 9-point game, ladies and gentlemen. Wide open for three, no good, off the hands of Cole, but hey, they'll call it for SWU. What a comeback we've got on our hands here. Nicholson to throw in, tries to find Price. Ball eventually finds its way towards half court, now in the hands of the Mars Hill Lions. And Jadine Hayes, the Columbia College transfer, puts the ball on the deck and then puts it through the net. Reigns keeping pace. Nicholson winds up for a three, launches one, no good. Remains in play, a little bit of chaos ensuing here in Central South Carolina. That's exactly how basketball is supposed to be played, gritty and tough. Ahead by 11 is Mars Hill. They're trying to chew out the clock, less than 7.5 minutes to go. A beautiful high arcing shot. Won't fall there for Peoples. We'll see it remain in the Lions' hands. Deep in SWU territory. Gillette. 7 minutes for both teams to try and seal the deal and sign it in ink. 76-65. We have a whistle blown and Peoples to distribute and get things going right at that 7-minute mark. Gillette surveys. Dawson. The deep ball, no good for Odongo. Esther Cole tries to find Reigns just outside 3-point range. Odongo. Haynes. Back to Peoples now on the far side of the court. Up and into the hands of Raines. Bobbles out. Peoples recollects. Off the backboard, no good. Odongo will bring about a jump ball. And it'll go way of the Lions. Haynes to Dawson. Outside Peoples, we'll see the double dribble. We saw her drop the ball off the first touch, recollect it, can't do that. Within 11 is SWU. Big momentum shifting play off the egregious turnover from Mars Hill. Call to comeback, ladies and gentlemen. Again, at one point, SWU was down by 24 points. Raines up and won't fall. Loose ball, she'll get it back. Kicks it out wide. Looky, no good off the left side of the backboard. Gillette, again, using the clock to her advantage. They've got 20 seconds to get to work here. Plenty of time to wind it down, but they decide to pull up from deep. That's Dawson, Kendon Dawson, out of Hartsville, South Carolina, who averaged 5.5 points per game with Columbia College. Another one of the koalas that was brought over by head coach J.J. Green. Man, what a rocket launcher from deep. 79-65. Is the comeback inevitable? Or will Mars Hill hold on? We'll see here shortly.
You played before that. Trying to have the trim or something.
And it's Wesleyan.
Wesleyan FC, we're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Wesleyan FC, we're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Wesleyan FC, we're by far the greatest team
the world has ever seen.
We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen.
We are back for the final 5 minutes and 45 seconds here in Central South Carolina. 79-65, a 14-point lead here for Mars Hill. But look who's in possession, the Warriors. And man, have they been on quite the hot streak. Looky, drives, heaves it up, it won't fall. Princess McCauley, on a hope and a prayer, launches it up, draws the foul. We'll see her at the free throw line. McCauley, 1 for 2 from a charity stripe, and she'll take that quick donation of 1 point added to the SWU scoreboard. 13-point game. Every point matters. We do see what looks to be Gillette down for the count. And we'll take an injury break here as Mars Hill and Gillette hopefully recuperate and recover. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A very short injury break. We did see Gillette walk off on her own power. She was holding her upper ankle area. McCauley, 1 for 1 from this go-around. We'll see if she can make it 2 for 2 here. That she can't. She'll keep it at 50% there. Adongo in possession. McCauley, her defender. Peoples finds Street on the near side corner. She drives in. And bodies on bodies collecting underneath the rim. Street takes a fall. Nicholson takes a fall. And Street to shoot for it. 2 shots here for number 2 in the white and yellow. $14-point game. SWU has a chance to still make the comeback. But Street trying to make it as difficult as she can for them too. Looking. Her and Raines have been key pieces to the scoring resume so far today. Here's Esther Cole driving between defenders. Brackley gives it up. Was trying to find Price down underneath the metal. Up and no good. Street has to recollect herself. She soared high, but this ball popped away by Peoples, forcing 2 turnovers back to back. Here she goes, up and in, coast to coast, from east to west. Beautifully played there by number 1 in the blue, white, and yellow. Brought down by Cole. Quick turnaround, too. Go to the doorstep. Haynes on to Street. Street tripped up. That knee bent at quite the awkward angle. Hopefully she's okay. We'll take a quick injury update, or a quick injury break for an injury update when we come back.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Back on the court here for the final 4 minutes, 15 seconds of conference crossover action here in Central South Carolina in the Theisinger Gymnasium. Built in the 1970s, this gymnasium has seen a lot. And here it could see a SWU comeback. Nicholson launches one from 3. Drains it within 12 points. Is SWU. Peoples loses it on the dribble. Able to recollect herself. Up and in. That's good for Cheyenne McCummings. The freshman getting some good minutes. Improving her worth out on the floorboards. Launched into triple coverage. Intending that one for Price, just a bad look from out wide. Speaking of out wide, the shot will eventually fall up and out of play. And we'll see some substitutions, including Michaela Street checking back in. Thankfully, all is well with her. Time not in favor of the Warriors, but they're putting up a good fight down by 14. A little more than 3 minutes remain. Here's Raines, the point leader for the Warriors. Price, what a dish. The assist was perfect. Over the shoulder catch And a nice put up by Price. McCummings. Fights through the contact. We'll see the blocking foul there from Nicholson. Nicholson, her fourth foul on the day. One away from having to check out of the game. McCummings. Not too bad of a freshman outing she's having so far tonight. Make it now 6 points for the freshman. She was 0 for 1 from the field yesterday against Belmont Abbey. You see Lexi Ransom having checked back in. She'll lose it on the dribble. It was popped out by a Lion. Looky to toss it in. Looky surveys. Rains open for three. Can't cash in. That check will bounce. 87-73. Less than 2:45 remaining. A little bit of misdirection. Drew the foul. And Kendon Dawson will take a quick drive up to the free throw line to attempt two. Could make it an 89-73 game. At that point, it might just be out of reach for the Warriors. Dawson was 0 for 2 yesterday from the free throw line against Belmont Abbey. Grabs the first one there. And makes a second one as well. Dawson, her first two makes from the charity stripe this season. Gammon, the bad pass out. Up and in for McCummings. Easiest lay she'll see all season long, and her and Looky get into a bit of a pushing match. Price up, and the crutch, the only thing in her way. Things are about to get scrappy, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Peoples, driving baseline now, a game of keep away here for the Lions of Mars Hill. Dawson, McCummings, Looky, her defender, those two getting rough. Little more than 2 minutes to go. Ransom checks back in. And Looky to find her way on to the bench. Her fourth foul of the night. 8 points. 5 of those coming from the free throw line. McCummings, 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. Will she remain perfect? We'll see here. Launches one up, and she'll sink that one. 5 for 5 for a solid 11-point outing. The freshman, in just her second collegiate game, making plenty of strides, adjusting so well to the collegiate pace of play. Gammon, sidestep, long two. It'll rim out, and here's Dawson to take control. Final 2 minutes coming your way here on the Conference Carolina's digital network. Stepping out of bounds is Peoples, that left foot, as she was making the high effort play to keep it in bounds. Bit unfortunate there, but Nicholson launches it over near side of the court. Here's Gammon. Miami, Florida native. With the ball eventually finding its way into the hands of Ransom. And just a weekend of cold shots for her. Very icy. Her and the rim must have some beef. McCummings out to Peoples. Less than a minute and a half remains. SWU going to have to start fouling. Peoples drives the lane. Takes a nice little fadeaway too. Just pouring some salt on the wound. Reigns in possession. Grabs her own deflected pass and puts it up for a nice 2-ball. Less than a minute to go here in Central South Carolina. And unfortunate for Warriors fans is they couldn't complete the comeback. The onslaught of offense from Mars Hill, too much to handle. 20 points. Now 21 points, 22-23 here in this fourth quarter for Mars Hill. Gammon. The final 30 seconds to get to work. She finds a nice and easy lay. Close to eclipsing that 100 mark is Mars Hill. 2 more points will do just that. Dawson. No shot clock needed. She can wind this one down to the very last second. 98-77 looks to be your final score here in Central South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, what a performance we had from both sides. It was high effort, high intensity, and very gritty till the very end. Hey, shout out to Southern Wesleyan. 27 points there in the third quarter, 9 for 12. From the field, they're shooting 75%. That's how they need to be playing each and every quarter of basketball the rest of the ways. It looks like we will see the final few seconds played out here. 10 more minutes on the clock, baby. Run it back. Yeah, apparently I got a bit too ahead of myself. See a quick clock adjustment. Ransom to toss it in for the final 0.4 seconds. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be your game. A bit unnecessary to make them finish it out, but hey, it works. Southern Wesleyan will drop to 0-2 on the season as they hit the road and head up to play Georgia College. And Mars Hill even it out at 1-1 here in Central, as that will complete our conference crossover between the Conference of Carolinas and the South Atlantic Conference here at Southern Wesleyan University. My name's Colin Calvert. Glad to have you here with me tonight. Hope you enjoyed the game. And